Are you ready to learn? All right! Hello, Phil from the future here before we get started. This is one of the best leagues of the year, unquestionably. And my recommended rounds are 1, 2, 3, 4, and you guessed it, 5. This league is amazing. It features some incredibly tight gameplay. It features one of the best Cabal therapies that I've ever seen in my life, and some incredibly long and grindy games. This one is worth coming back to later if you don't finish it the first time around. Enjoy the show. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today we're going back to Nic Fit, and specifically we've got something new to check out. We've got some technology from Something Snazzy, who has been playing around with Eyetwitch stuff in other formats, and turned me on to Professor of Symbology. When this creature enters, learn. We've really been enjoying the Eyetwitch Nic Fit stuff recently. My analytics have made that very, very abundantly clear to me, and I am not done exploring this shell yet. I actually have an idea for yet another one of these videos, so it'll probably happen next week. And I think this is very interesting, because this specific card doesn't require you to use Cabal Therapy, or ping with a Bowmaster, or sacrificing to Witherbloom Charm. This just gives you immediate access to the card that you need. And while I think you can be 2 colors very, very comfortably in Nic Fit currently, this opens up some new design space. If we are playing white, we can play Erode as our Swords to Plowshares Path to Exile effect, but it's actually quite good here, because it destroys target creature, meaning that we can potentially erode our Eyetwitch or our Veteran Explorer to get their triggers, which is pretty neat. It is going to be a little more mana base intensive than some of the other splashes we've done. In playing the Junda version, the only red was basically Chaos Defiler, which is a 5-drop, and you don't really need that in the early game, whereas you need the white on turn 2 for Professor of Symbology, which is a little awkward in a deck that pretty much always wants to have green-black available on turn 2, but also needs to play at least 1 copy of Basic Plains. So we'll see how that shakes out over the course of the league. And you'll see that I have added a handful of white dual lands to the deck in addition to just the Basic Plains. We're not trying to skimp out and do this on as few lands as possible here. And it may be that I should put a second Plains into the mana base, but it's so bad with Assassin's Trophy and Witherbloom Charm that I think I'm going to err on the side of having 1. And playing white means that we open up 3 new lessons in the sideboard that we didn't have access to before. The first of which is the very powerful Restoration Seminar. For 7 mana, it is one of these Paradigm cards that you can cast every single turn. You return target non-land permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. So given that this deck is already doing things like Overlord and Malevolent Rumble that are going to fill up its graveyard, this gives you a decent amount of endgame inevitability. I considered going into things like Solitude and Felia for this specific deck, but I was having a hard time making the slots work if I did that. Hardcasting Solitude is something that sounds very, very cool for this deck, and Overlord repeatedly getting that back seems like a great use of your mana, but I couldn't quite figure out how to make all of the slots work. And at that point, I felt like I needed to be taking Malevolent Rumble out of the deck, and this felt like a pretty important card in the other leagues. So I didn't go that route, but let the record show that I was thinking about it. Next up, we get Airbender's Reversal, which is just another generic removal spell. It just destroys target attacking creature. Or it can potentially airbend target creature you control, where you exile it and then you could cast it for 2 mana. So we could use this as a potential removal spell for a Murktide region, while also holding this to, say, protect our Barrowglyph from a removal spell. And on that note, enter the avatar state is even better at that. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar, gains flying, first strike, lifelink, and hexproof. So we can use this to protect one of our important creatures if we've already stuck it, or potentially give lifelink to something like an Overlord of the Baelmerk and, have I would say a devastating combat trick, but we are probably showing this ahead of time. Since our mana is going to be slightly more questionable in this league, I've also thrown a Shared Roots into our tutor board here. And given how much Desperate Plea has overperformed in previous videos, I'm also going to throw a second one of those in the sideboard here. Note that we are going in a little weak versus combo here relative to the previous lists, which I believe also had like 4 Leyline of the Voids and 3 Mindbreak Traps in the sideboard or something like that. But we're trying a slightly different idea out today. If you find that you have an awesome idea for the channel, or do you just want to fund me to keep making these awesome videos and support my content, the donation deck list information let me phrase that. The donation deck list information is available in every video description, and things like Dealer's Choice donation deck lists just kind of let me do my thing and explore awesome ideas on the channel. It's a great way to support my content. Another way you can support my content is by ordering cards from toamagic.com and using promo code ThrabenU when you do. They recently did a really cool wrap-up on their social media, I think both Twitter and Blue Sky. And they highlighted all of the really cool cards that they sold, and they moved a lot of power at Vegas. It was kind of surprising, and I was happy to see that getting into hands of people that would actually play with them. All right, with that being said, let's battle. All right. Opening hand with 1 land isn't going to do it here. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I legitimately don't know what goes back. It is either Bowmasters or Therapy. They both serve the same job of being able to kill an Eyetwitch, but I do have Lazotep Quarry already, and that also kills the Eyetwitch. The Therapy is a lot worse if my turn 1 land is entering tapped. I think I'm going to get rid of the Therapy. Basic Swamp, Moon Shadow. I'm probably going to miss the window to kill that via Orcish Bowmasters. If my opponent is playing black removal, Eyetwitch would pretty much always die. I think I'm into Basic Swamp. Bayou could be important, depending on what I draw, actually. Let's throw down an Eyetwitch. And this Moon Shadow is going to start growing. Dies means goes to the graveyard from play, which this prevents me from doing. That is a devastating counter to what I am doing. And this is where Professor of Symbology matters, right? Because this is not on dies, this is on enters. That's a really big deal. So I can now play that out. And which one of my removal spells work here? This one technically works, but not in a way that I'm excited about. Destroys target attacking creature. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I think I am sending in for 1 here. My opponent's at 18. And I can... Damn. Never mind. I was going to talk about this whole thing. Like, I can hold this up as a removal spell, and if my opponent doesn't do it, I have Bowmasters. My opponent might still need to just take Barrogoyf, though, because it's a Dumb Magic the Gathering card. Yeah. Oh, they're very interested in that Barrogoyf, but that turns on Eyetwitch. You have another one? Like another Thoughtseize effect? A Nethergoyf. Sure. Alright, I will take some damage here. That is fine. So, now my graveyard is online. Is this thing Destroy or Exile? It is Destroy. I'm thinking about sacking my Eyetwitch to Lazotep Quarry to get Desperate Plea, junking Professor of Symbology, killing Barrogoyf. That gets a Barrogoyf in my sideboard, and potentially with the next Desperate Plea, I can take that out. Desperate Plea, instant or sorcery? Sorcery. Alright, so I would have to do it now. Alright, I think I'm into it. Hit opponent for 1. Quarry. Sacrifice Eyetwitch or black mana. Get Desperate Plea. do both modes, get Eyetwitch back. I think I kill Barrowgoyf, sacrificing the Professor. Now I have an Eyetwitch that can chump block Nethergoyf and get me something else. Potentially just another Desperate Plea. Don't do another Douthie. Alright, Super Shredder. Ooh, I haven't seen that art before. Alright. Menace creatures are slightly problematic. We'll figure it out. I could take 8 in upkeep, cast Bowmaster, Bowmaster ping Super Shredder, Bobble draw ping Super Shredder. Those cards are gone. Then play Orcish Bowmasters. Sorry, then sacrifice. Yeah, I think I take this hit here rather than chump blocking. Otherwise, this Super Shredder feels like a problem. Alright, so upkeep, bam and bam, ping Super Shredder, Bobble draw, ping Super Shredder, Moonshadow grows. I'm not too worried about that. Ooh, fetch, get another Bayou, go to combat, send in for 1, opponent to 14, sacrifice Eyetwitch, learn, get second Desperate Plea, cast this for both modes, get Eyetwitch, destroy Moonshadow, paying 1, sack the Bowmaster, Moonshadow is dead. I now have 2 removal spells going into the next stage of the game, and I've made my opponent's attacks less good. Alright, Thoughtseize occurs. I now have 1 removal spell. I should probably lose Witherbloom Charm here. Alright, Bobble comes in. I get slightly punished for not sacrificing my Orc Army token. I did it so that I had a 2/2 in play that doesn't die to an opposing Bowmaster. But this is fine. I will go ahead and block with Eyetwitch, save the 4 life. We learn again. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana for next turn. I already have this thing covered, probably. Might get Germination, Practicum. Also just get Seismic Sense. Yeah, I'm into Seismic Sense here. That lets me leave open mana for Airbender's Reversal. Alright, opponent is fetching. I don't think they have anything to do here. They throw a Lotus Petal to graveyard. Take their draw. This soon represents a Barrowgoyf. I think I'm going to do this prior to making my land drop, because there is some decision about whether I'm doing a tapped or untapped land here. Oh, that's Barrowgoyf. Hello, Barrowgoyf. Very nice. So I will go bam, 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 Barrowgoyf. I think I play the ETB tapped land here. I'll absolutely keep an Assassin's Trophy as a piece of removal, and I'm going to hold this back in case my opponent gets some sort of Fatal Push thing that removes Barrowgoyf. And I suspect that if I untap, I win. Bobble is fine. Opponent can see my Airbender's Reversal. This deck fucking rules. Alright, so I know I'm getting Assassin's Trophy here. I will send in with my Barrowgoyf. That is an Orcish Bowmasters. Pinging my face. I go to 4. I suspect that I just Assassin's Trophy this so that my opponent... Well, I guess they would have to put everything in front of the Barrowgoyf to kill this, and that would be fine. Yeah. Okay, they're just going to chump. I'm going to gain 5 life. That is not a problem. So then, I'm going to just fetch out like a basic forest here, and Lazotep Quarry my Barrowgoyf back. Costs me 5 plus the quarry. I sacrifice my desert. I have 2 Barrowgoyfs in play now. Shredder comes to play. Sure. All right. Malevolent Rumble is cool. I think I am getting rid of Nethergoyf and making my attacks as good as possible here. Bam. And bam. This will grow Super Shredder, and this Nethergoyf goes to the graveyard where my opponent can escape it. Given the amount of life I am about to have, I think I can also attack with this token. I think I have very clearly shifted into the beatdown role. Alright, so my opponent is going to take 6. Super Shredder scales up. 1 Barrowgoyf connection. Oh, Overlord. Overlord is cool. I will take that. I think I'm just going to call it good there. Hold up Airbender's Reversal. I could cast Malevolent Rumble, but this might end up just growing Super Shredder. Yep. Nethergoyf comes back via Escape. That's a land drop from my opponent. Shredder gets bigger. And my opponent passes the turn. They can draw. Oh, that's so good here. I will use that to take out the Super Shredder. Okay, yeah. I was down to, I don't think it was literally 1 life, but I was very low on resources there, and I brought that one back. We have consumed a considerable amount of clock in making that happen. But that was a dominating performance for this deck. GG. Basically, I don't sideboard unless I am bringing in Thoughtseize during this league. So, main deck is perfect. What an incredible game of Magic there. I will mulligan this. It does not have mana. I will keep this. It does have mana. And I probably get rid of one of the 2 professors here. Wasteland is likely to be pretty good against my stuff here. I think the Overlord is my best card in a vacuum. It is so dependent on what my opponent's hand looks like, though, for which one of these cards you take. Like, Erode is the one that answers a creature immediately. Bowmasters can be useful if they have a bunch of baubles. Alright, they have gone with the thing that is generically quite powerful. Veteran Explorer I will play out immediately with my mana. That is fine. I thought I was going to be doing a Surveil land. Opponent can cycle, and then they will redraw on their own turn. Alright. Wasteland good. I do have Erode for my Veteran Explorer. Never mind. I don't know, I could lose one of the other 2. Alright, I didn't. Veteran Explorer's cousin, more other Veteran Explorer is here. And I think I just put that into play. There's an argument to, like, get Bayou with that, so that I always have what I need to kill a Veteran Explorer. Alright, squad. Appreciate you showing all up for the big game here. We beat our opponent to death with 3 Veteran Explorers, just like Mark Rosewater intended. Ooh, this one is turning quickly. I might not play mana this game. Play Magic this game, rather. Oof, Douthie's very good against us. Normally, the Barrogoyf would not be threatening, but the Douthie in particular shuts off a major axis of my deck. I will be chump blocking here to attempt to buy time. Oh god, more of them? Fuck. Alright. What lesson? The Desperate Plea? Probably has to be Desperate Plea. Means this is a scrub. Oh fuck, that happens in a Wasteland though? No, absolutely not. Alright, we will get a worse removal spell then. Pick up Airbender's Reversal. Pass turn. I think I chump 1 and take 9. One of the Barrogoyfs gets through. I think finding a Super Shredder. 8 that for me. Nope. 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 Brutal beating there. GG. We will try again for game 3. Okay, this is fine. I will keep this. I think I am getting Bayou here in the short term. I don't know, I could get Basic Forest since I always have Lazotep Quarry and that always works. Unless my opponent Dark Rituals. Alright, we'll do it this way. Badlands. Moon Shadow comes down. You've got it. Alright, I think I attack. I don't think my opponent blocks. I think this is just free damage. I think I'm then going to go black mana off of Veteran Explorer. Say yes. I will do a black and a green from this since I have a basic plains already in hand. We'll do a Cabal Therapy and target my opponent. I really don't want them to have something like a Barrogoyf here. I could just name Douthie Voidwalker, which is a problematic card long term. Let's do that first. Douthie is a hit. Yeah. Moonshadow can grow. I then think I am fine doing Eyetwitch. Cabal Therapy, target you. Sacrifice an Eyetwitch. Yeah, you can play the Bowmaster there. That is fine. I am paving the way for my Barrogoyf here. I could get Ruinous Waterbending to kill this and this at the same time. I'm not really sure that that's better than just grabbing something like Desperate Plea. I think I like Airbender's Reversal. Name Fatal Push, take that out of the way, and then next turn I can play Barrogoyf and leave up Airbender's Reversal. Seems good. So there's the Verdant I know about. Bobble was the draw for turn. That'll grow Moonshadow immediately. There's the Nethergoyf. Moonshadow grows again. Or a Theater, which could potentially make Moonshadow grow one more time. It does not. I will take 6 damage. My opponent draws a card. Malevolent Rumble is cool. So 1, 2, and 3. There's my Barrogoyf. I basically need my opponent not to spike a removal spell for this, and then I'm in pretty good shape. That's slightly annoying. Now I didn't make good use of that mana. Ooh, my opponent has their own Barrogoyf. I could certainly lose this. My opponent's gonna then crack the land to grow Moonshadow further, and I can't block. I am down to 6. Let's try to figure out how I get myself out of this. I can learn? Alright, I can learn. So I go 1 and 2 mana to learn, get Desperate Plea, do this, cast Desperate Plea for both modes, getting back Eyetwitch, destroying the creature with Menace, 1 and 2. I suppose sacrificing the spawn. Alright. Oh no, because I sacrificed the spawn, I don't get the Eyetwitch back. Fuck, that was such a bad mistake. No, I might have punted the whole match right there. Because now I don't get the chump block in the next lesson. Fuck. Oh, that was so bad. Alright. I can potentially still recover this. That was very bad, though. My deck is such fucking bros right now. Alright, to Lazotep Quarry the Barrogoyf from my graveyard, I need this plus 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. I think I just play the 1 from my hand so it can't be thought seized. I guess this could be wastelanded, but, you know, we will bury them in Barrogoyfs. Oh, nice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm in. Yeah. Get Germination Practicum, which I will immediately cast. This is now a 7/8. Get in there. Opponent will chump. I gain 7. I'm back to 19. I have Germination Practicum every turn for the rest of the game, and I can re-Barrogoyf at will. Nice Moonshadow. That is another land. Uh-oh. Germination Practicum. I will indeed cast it without paying its mana cost. Nic Fit is the greatest fucking deck of all time. GG. This is one of the best games of Magic on the channel this year. Absolutely incredible. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. If you're looking to store your decks online, you're not going to find a better website. It's super organized and easy to use, and I sort everything that I do into a ton of format-specific folders, and you can customize the way that you use Moxfield to your liking. Whether you like text views or visual views of multiple different natures, Moxfield has it all. And it's so easy to use, you might even say that it's a snap. All right. Opening hand has lands and spells. Opponent is on turn 1 Urza's Saga. So, I gotta think about this Cabal Therapy. Unfortunately, I can't name Ancient Tomb here and successfully take that card. I don't know. Like, what's the disaster case? Like, what is the singular worst card that my opponent could have? Painter? Painter's pretty bad. That kills me on turn 3, and I have to, like, commit Witherbloom Charm. Painter's pretty bad. Okay. Right deck name, wrong cards in hand. Never would have hit with this Cabal Therapy, literally ever. So Saga goes to 2. Ancient Tomb's there. Mox Opal now can come out. I can get a 2-for-1 with Lightning Bolts here. Shit. That's very annoying. So as soon as I play a creature, I probably lose this Cabal Therapy. So I could cast Cabal Therapy and take 2 Lightning Bolts right now. I think I just don't care. I think it is more important to do this. Yeah. And I need Origin of Metal Bending to destroy Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Because that is a very, very fucked up Magic card. Like, this not only picks away at my graveyard, it also, like, keeps this from getting bigger. It has some potential infinite combo synergies, can turn other things into outlets for sewer combo if my opponent has that in their deck. Chromatic Star. Sure. Cycling the star. So, we Metal Bend. Like a Bayou here. I will just take this out immediately. Yep, you can take my land. I accept that. Now I think I attack for 2. Get in there. Opponent takes it. Cabal Therapy, target you. This is going to get both Lightning Bolts, but one of them gets to kill the Professor. What the fuck is this? Lightning Bolt is in there twice. Name Lightning Bolt. Broadside. Well, I'm not going to get to take that Broadside. It's 2 or less, so that doesn't kill Broadside either. That's rather unfortunate. Oh, it's Fable. Holy shit, they're leaving the Broadside in graveyard when I have Cabal Therapy? Fucking bet. Hell yeah. I think I'm going to rumble and try to hit a land drop here. Okay, success. So there is land drop. I'm going to fetch a basic forest. On the off chance that my opponent has game 1 Blood Moon. Actually, I don't need this Eldrazi spawn. Yeah, I don't need this Eldrazi spawn. Let's just sack that. Take out Broadside. Very nice. So my opponent has City of Traders left over. Then I think I will pass the turn there. And then I think play Bowmasters. I'm going to go ahead and ping this token. If my opponent wants to use Fable to loot, I'm going to kill their token and constrain their mana, which is relevant when they have an Ancient Tomb and are already at 12 life before I've dealt any damage to them. How much do you like that City of Traders that is currently in your hand? Ooh, yeah. Very nice. I will ping and finish off that token, and then ping face with the other one. And now we don't know anything in my opponent's hand. There is a Ghost Vacuum. That is a very reasonable card against my upcoming Barrogoyf. Holy shit, really? Yeah, I was gonna say, that is surprising. What am I doing with Witherbloom Charm? Maybe nothing? I will probably hold it up. I could just go aggro here. I think it's pretty reasonable to. Like, it's pretty reasonable to just kill Construct Token, attack for 4. Bam. I should technically attack first, but I don't think it matters here. Send in for 4. We have the 6/7 Goyf. And opponent is potentially facing down lethal next turn or is forced to chump block with a Fable. You can do a little bit of damage to the Barrogoyf by removing enchantment. Maybe getting another card type out as well. Alright. GG. I wonder if I win this game as easily if my opponent just plays the Broadside. Like, they just leave the Fable in hand, they play the Broadside, they get to attack me for, I don't know, like 5 or something like that. They have the ability to, like, throw Mox Opal, kill some of my small stuff, and my Cabal Therapy from graveyard isn't likely to hit. Like, I wonder if that was a game-defining moment. So, do I want Thoughtseize in this matchup is basically the question. I almost rather would just play to the board. I have Erode, Trophy, Witherbloom, Charm, and then Professor of Symbology gets multiple different removal spells as well. I don't know that I need to attack the hand. Obviously, when it works, and Cabal Therapy definitely pulled its weight in that match. I don't know that I need more. Oh, the greed. I don't know that I keep that one. This is the same hand. On 6, are we risking it? 2 draws to get any land. I think on 6 I will risk it. I think gonna put Eyetwitch back. Yeah, it's a little tough. I'm not 100% sure. Like, the Barrogoyf is the slowest thing here, but it's something that lives through lightning bolts and stabilizes my board versus opposing aggressive draws. Mountain, Lotus Petal, and Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Hate that for me. Witherbloom Charm is not a land. Great Furnace comes down. Melded Moxite comes down. Sewer Valence Cam is in the yard. Alright, Bayou is very important. So I will attack for 1. The way priority works is going to be very favorable to me here. I will go ahead and cast Cabal Therapy. Welder, Engineer, Painter. I think I'll go Engineer. Broadside and Skateboard. So now my opponent doesn't have a chance to remove this before I get to do this. So Therapy, target you. I will sacrifice my Veteran Explorer, so we both get some lands. I will say yes. This lets me get white. And then I don't think it matters what I get for the other one. No, I'll get black, because then I have all of my colors this turn. My opponent gets some mountains. I will take their broadside. Cool. And now I'm going to hold open Witherbloom Charm, I think. I am probably destroying Agatha's Soul Cauldron with it. Okay. Opponent did not eat anything from graveyard there, which is almost certainly a mistake. Saga comes down. That is fine. So I will take out Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Opponent's going to get rid of their Melded Moxite, make a robot, and then put a counter on it. That's all fine. So, Origin of Metal Bending can just outright destroy Urza's Saga. That seems pretty good as of right now. We'll pick it up. Take out Urza's Saga. There's still some serious tension in this match. My opponent can potentially top deck a Goblin Engineer, give it haste, and do some bad things to me. Hey, that's exactly what I was just talking about. So now this Engineer has haste with Sewer Valence Cam. Okay, Phyrexian Dragon Engine to play, sure. Or no, sorry, this was an Engineer, not a Welder, so that's not going infinite immediately. It's just bad. I will 2-mana Rumble. Eyetwitch. I will take an Eyetwitch. Then I will fetch some land out of my deck. Do like a white dual land. On the off chance that I need to play towards Restoration Seminar. So there's Barrogoyf. There's Eyetwitch. I'll pass the turn there, holding back some resources. Engineer does cool stuff now. Like, Engineer can tap down some of my creatures with Sewer Valence Cam. Engineer can bring back Soul Cauldron. What am I doing if Eyetwitch dies? How big is Phyrexian? So this is a 2. So if Eyetwitch dies, I could get Ruinous Waterbending and kill both of these at the same time, unless Agatha's Soul Cauldron gets into play. Ooh. All right. So everything is just heading in. This is a 7. So if they mark 3 damage on this, they could then throw Phyrexian Dragon Engine to kill it. I kind of want Eyetwitch to die here. I think I'm going bam, bam, bam. Let's see how this plays out. Okay. So Broadside throws the Dragon Engine at the Barrogoyf. So Barrogoyf ends up dying. My Eyetwitch is still in play. I can kill it with Orcish Bowmasters, though. In which case, I could get something that kills Goblin Engineer. Ugh, Agatha's Soul Cauldron is a pain here. Alright, I think what I'm doing is sending in for 1 in the air, bringing my opponent to 16, playing Orcish Bowmasters. Yes, you may return Phyrexian Dragon Engine to play. This is so much better for me now. Holy shit. Cool. So now I kill my Eyetwitch. I learn. I get Desperate Plea. I do Desperate Plea with both modes. I would like Eyetwitch back. I would like to kill Goblin Engineer. So I go 1 and 2 and sacrifice the Orc. I only need it to be 1 power. Now my opponent doesn't get Agatha's Soul Cauldron. All right. I won the fight over Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I'm very happy. Petal is fine. All right. More Goblin Engineer. There is now a Phyrexian Devourer in Graveyard, which potentially can be a combo piece. There's a Ghost Vacuum as well. How would you feel like attacking? No? All right. Witherbloom Charm. I can destroy Robot Token, get the Sweeper, sweep both of these out of play. That still leaves the Urza Saga tokens as a problem. That might just need to be what I do. I can also just draw 2 cards. I don't know. Maybe I destroy Ghost Vacuum. Oh, hold on. Destroying Ghost Vacuum doesn't kill Eyetwitch. Shit. All right. I will draw 2 cards then. I will sack Eyetwitch. Assassin's Trophy is interesting. We'll get Ruinous Waterbending. I don't have enough creatures to do the Airbend for 4. So here is my Ruinous Waterbending. This is going to leave my opponent with a good board for a little while that I hope I stabilize with this. I know that my opponent has used their skateboard already, so I'm not, like, super sweating, like, dying to haste damage here. Chromatic Star. I don't think you're supposed to sack that immediately. I suspect that you go to combat and attack first. These fucking engineers, man. Where's my lesson? That destroys all artifacts. Sewer Valence Cam in yard. Take 9 here. The Ghost Vacuum bringing back some of my creatures is potentially a problem as well. Eyetwitch, Barrogoyf, and Assassin's Trophy can all happen. I am not going to do all the permutations on the math here. I think I need to be respecting my own clock. But I think Ghost Vacuum getting back my Barrogoyf, a Bowmasters, and like some of their stuff is too much. So I will play out both my creatures. I suspect that my opponent beats what I currently have. Ooh, there's something else as well. A Braid. All right, I get to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Restoration Seminar isn't great. Seismic Sense. I might be looking for more Barrogoyfs to stabilize. I buy that. Skateboard kills me. That's right. Yep. That is reasonable. Not having Graveyard Hate here to just hard nope all of this stuff is a little rough. GG. Opponent's draw was quite good. Ooh, single land is not going to do it here. This is fine. I will keep this one, throwing back 1 land of some kind. I haven't seen Blood Moon type stuff yet. I'm just going to put the basic back into the deck here. Land drop, Cabal Therapy, target you. Might just name something that comes out immediately and is immediately threatening here. Goblin Welder is a hit. Very nice. I say, as my opponent has Blood Moon in their opening hand. That is unfortunate for me. I mean, I guess I just take it, right? I go Eyetwitch, Ball Therapy, target you, sacrifice Eyetwitch. I get Origin of Metal Bending preemptively, and then I take this Blood Moon. It's a shame because Blood Moon isn't, like, traditionally a particularly strong card versus my deck. And then I'll put this into play on the off chance that I need to fetch in respect of a... No, I guess a Blood Moon can't be powered out. But like now that I know that my opponent has them, I should work on getting my basics. Saga and Cauldron. I can blow up one of these 2 things. Ooh. I think I just let my opponent have the robots and kill Agatha's Soul Cauldron. It is just a very warping card. I suspect that I can beat the fair stuff with Barrogoyf. And if I can do my Graveyard Recursion loops, I'm in pretty good shape. That is a Blood Moon, which Blood Moon Urza Saga is pretty good. I think this is a basic swamp, and I think that resolves. I have enough basics in my deck that I probably draw out of that in not too long. Alright, what does the Professor get here? I can straight up get my other basic land type. I think I just play Barrowgoyf this turn. It is a 5/6. I'm outside of range of immediate red removal. Ooh, that's not great. I'm not sure if I can easily beat that. I can potentially Decorum Dissertation my opponent to death. Alright, so I will play a Professor. I guess I don't have the green to cast a lot of these. Desperate Plea can start loops. I think I'm getting Decorum Dissertation. I think that is my plan to win. The second Blood Moon is super unfortunate. Legion Extruder is fine. Goblin Welder is fine. I'm actually happy that's in the graveyard. Now I go bam bam, learn, get Desperate Plea, both modes, get this back, kill that, 1, 2. I think I'm still sacrificing this so it goes to the graveyard so that I can potentially loop these again. I will pick up Desperate Plea. We're not going anywhere fast. I kind of wish that I had like 1 endurance here that I could cast and put my Origin of Metal Bending back in my deck. Alright. This is 2 to activate. My opponent has an onboard 3/3, but that's fine. Yeah, so you lose the Moxite. You get a 3/3. You block this. That is not a big deal. I should technically let combat damage resolve before doing that, but I'm getting to the point where my clock is like low enough in a game that I know is going to go long that I probably just need to F6 and like play quickly as frequently as possible. All right. There is an Eyetwitch, and I can't successfully attack on the ground right now. Yeah. So my opponent can make a stream of construct tokens a number of different ways here. 8 the Engineer. Sewer Valence Cam in the yard. I can attack in the air though. So in I go for 1. Opponent to 18. Desperate Plea. Both modes. Get a Professor back. Destroy an Engineer. 1 and 2. I think I leave the Eyetwitch since it can attack. How does this read? If its power is less than or equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Alright, in which case, I'll do that. So now I will learn Airbender's Reversal. I don't know that most of these are relevant. I'm going to take this for long-term benefits. I guess I have to worry about my opponent sacrificing Ensnaring Bridge to Legion Extruder. I think I'm just going to hope that they miss that line. Alright, Veteran Explorer is close to what I need. In with Eyetwitch. 17. I think I am just passing the turn now with Bowmasters available. Yeah, I think I'm dying to these construct tokens. Oh, fuck, I meant to... Oh well. Base. Base. I guess we'll say that I'm holding this open to kill an Eyetwitch. New Fable. Alright. Better late than never on this, I suppose. 14. That is not quite what I need. No castable spells here. Eyetwitch in for 1. We're very quickly approaching the point where this doesn't do its thing. Ruinous Waterbending has that Waterbend 4 mode that can make my opponent lose some life. That is, like, somewhat relevant here. Alright, that is not a live card. Opponent still has 1 card in hand. I can send in with Eyetwitch for 1. And again, I'm just hoping that my opponent doesn't think of sacrificing their own Ensnaring Bridge. Because at some point, that army does just overwhelm me. Alright, Reflection of Kiki-Jiki is a thing. Skateboard, sure. Yeah, you can tap down a land. I'm clearly F6'd. That is an Engineer, yep. Opponent has some neat lines where they can potentially use Reflection of Kiki-Jiki to copy Kiki-Jiki. Alright, an Engineer has haste. It gets Agatha's Soul Cauldron, sure. Which puts Goblin Welder under it, sure. You are Welcome to do something with infinite mana. I think I've been dead on board for a while. Alright, they're going to do a Legion Extruder loop kill. I'm not going to make my opponent click through that because that kind of sucks. But they, like, very clearly win the game from here unless they misclick. I am not going to sit there and do that. That was a little unfortunate, but GG's. Good game of Magic. Like, maybe legitimately I need a second Origin of Metal Bending in the sideboard. Like, if I can learn this much and I have this much access to it. Or maybe I just need a... I don't know if I can squeeze a Boseiju in the mana base. I need a little bit more versus artifacts and enchantments, I think. GG. Great match. Well, well, well. My homie Overlord of the Bailmark has finally decided to show up to work. My hand is pretty clearly a keep. I'm not doing anything busted right now, but I have, like, a decent amount of mana and a decent amount of, like, velocity. I can look at a lot of cards. I can fill my graveyard up. I like what's here a lot. That Veteran Explorer sat on the stack for a surprising amount of time. Underground Sea Gamer has appeared. Punchies. In for 1. On it to 19. I'm thinking about what I want to play. I think I want to play Malevolent Rumble because it can potentially hit Cabal Therapy. Didn't happen. I don't hate Basic Swamp. I think I'm just going to take Basic Swamp. I don't yet know if I'm playing against, like, Doomsday or Tempo or what. And until I have a little more information, it's hard to know exactly what I should be playing towards and, like, how dangerous it is to sacrifice Veteran Explorer. Because, like, we could be on the spectrum from, like, Doomsday to Dimir Tempo to, like, Dirtily Grixis Control or something in between. Opponent has confirmed basic lands in with Veteran Explorer. And then I think I will be shoving a Barrow-Goyf around a daze because I do have an Eldrazi spawn token. Alright, it has resolved. That doesn't necessarily mean a lot. My opponent could just have fetch land Fatal Push, and, like, this is not currently a problem. Doomsday. Do I have any weird learn shit? Maybe not that I can do immediately. I think there's one called something like Ozai's Cruelty that is a discard 2 cards and do some damage one. That didn't quite make the cut for this deck. I suspect that if I learn, I pick up Decorum Dissertation in an attempt to mill my opponent out. Alright, you got Tamiyo's over there, what are you doing? They have main deck Jace Wielder of Mysteries. We are not on creatures, we are on flow states and personal tutor type stuff. Alright, got it. Ooh, do I die now? I might die right now. Land drop. Petal. Pass turn. Alright. How do I thread this to maximize my chances of winning? I probably cast a pre-combat Malevolent Rumble. I could cast... Hold on, what if I cast Professor and do this? No, I can't Waterbend for the damage. Alright, I think I am casting this card, attempting to grow my creatures. There is a Cabal Therapy. That's nice. There's already a creature in graveyard. There's not a land in graveyard. Alright. Veteran Explorer to hand. I can now deal 6 damage. Alright. In for 6 damage. Opponent to 3. Trigger this. Say yes. I will pick up a Veteran Explorer. I now... Ball Therapy. Target you. Sack Veteran Explorer. Alright, yeah. I get some land. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, which is Professor plus up to a 4-drop, which is just short of this being lethal. So I think about the best I can do is grab Origin of Metal Bending and destroy Lotus Petal. Wow, I milled a lot of land there. Oh wait, hold on. Can I... Now that I've done this, can I get 4 untapped creatures? So I play Professor. I have 2 mana available. No. No, I can't. I can play Professor. I don't have an Eyetwitch in graveyard to try to loop this with. Okay. So 1 and 2 for Professor. Get Origin of Metal Bending. I think I could have done this slightly better, where I also end up with another Veteran Explorer in play. All right, opponent fetches to 1. All right, that's what I've got. So Street Wraith is not live anymore, but my opponent can just cast an Oracle, and they get there. Was I supposed to? No. My removal spells are sorcery speed or attacking creature. Damn! So close there. GG. This is what the 4 Thoughtseizes are for. I will play these. Some Erodes can probably go. Assassin's Trophy blowing up my opponent's lands is only slightly crazy. I might like board out 2 Overlords as top end. Coming that close in game 1 versus Doomsday is honestly a bit of an accomplishment. Yes, this is fine. Ball Therapy. Target you? I think since I can just do this again next turn, I'm just going to name Brainstorm here. I don't know. If they Dark Ritual Doomsday, it's a disaster. All right, I'll name Doomsday. Hoo hoo hoo! Would have hit either way, but, you know. The 2-for-1 feels good. I probably lose Bowmasters to this Thoughtseize. Oh no, they're just gonna Personal Tutor and put a Doomsday on top. Do I Assassin's Trophy their land? That forces a shuffle. I can play Bowmaster, sack the token, and take Brainstorm. I kind of like blowing up their land and forcing the shuffle on Doomsday. Or I need to do that the other way. Would you like your Doomsday or your land? Goodbye, Doomsday. So now opponent can't cast Thoughtseize. They could Personal Tutor for Doomsday again. And they're going to, but then they don't have black mana to cast said Doomsday. Like, that's a start. That's very funny. This time they can Brainstorm, though. I think I need to do something a little weird here. I think I Malevolent Rumble. Oh, Veteran Explorer is interesting. Guess I take that. Now I think I pass the turn and Bowmaster them. I could fetch here, play Veteran Explorer. Sacrificing Veteran Explorer could give them a basic swamp, though, which I don't like. I think I'm just passing the turn here. I will let them have that Doomsday in hand, and then we can, like, maybe do a Cabal Therapy fight. Nice. I will fetch, get another Bayou, play Orcish Bowmasters, Ing Face, and I'm basically just hoping to dodge Dark Ritual, I suppose. So bam, bam, bam. So that's 16. Land drop happens. And I now don't know exactly how much stuff my opponent has in hand. The Doomsday could currently be the top card of the library. I think I'm willing to put this into play and do the thing. Cabal Therapy, target you, sacrifice Veteran Explorer. I will say yes to this. Get a swamp and a forest. So my opponent gets 1. They've shuffled, so I now know the Doomsday is in their hand. So I will name Doomsday. Nice. Flow State and Ponder still there. Flow State, very strong. Ponder has to deal with Bowmasters. Get a Savannah. That's fine. I think I make Doomsday hard to cast and do Assassin's Trophy on Swamp. And then play Barrogoyf out. Yeah, you can surveil all you want. I am hoping for lethal next turn. I have 9 on board. My opponent can Flow State. I don't think... Well, I mean, I know past the turn Doomsday lines don't work anymore. So it needs to be like Dark Ritual, Doomsday, go to 5. Yeah. All right, we navigated that pretty well. I'm quite happy with that. GG. And we've already sideboarded our Thoughtseizes, so we've done what we can do. Yeah, I mean, I've got a discarded spell. I don't know that we ever beat the like turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday win on turn 2 lines or anything. But assuming it's not that sort of hand, I've got okay stuff going on. Personal Tutor puts Doomsday on top. It's slightly awkward. This needs to be a scrub land. 19. Ball Therapy. Target you. I just need to name Dark Ritual or Lotus Petal here in an attempt to not get turn 2'd and have a chance to flash this back on turn 3. I think I'm going to go with Dark Ritual. Nice. The brainstorm that is there is annoying, though, because that means that my opponent could brainstorm in response to me flashing back my card. What do I do if I learn? Unclear. I think I'm doing Malevolent Rumble and trying to put another Cabal Therapy into my graveyard rather than learning. Malevolent Rumble also potentially could pick up a Bowmaster, which could be a big deal. That is 2 Cabal Therapies to graveyard. That's something. Like the fetch land for flexibility. All right, Cabal Therapy, target you, sacrifice the spawn. Then my opponent will brainstorm and hide their Doomsday on top of deck. And I will have to name something else other than Doomsday, which I think is Flow State. All right, I am correct. So I pass the turn. My opponent now can ponder and look for land or Dark Ritual to cast Doomsday. There is a Lotus Petal. They are passing the turn. 1, 2, 3 casts Doomsday next turn. But Doomsday is probably in hand. So, bam. Professor. I get to learn. Decorum Dissertation as endgame burn is not crazy. I think I'm going to take that and have that as an angle I can do. Cabal Therapy. Target you. Sacrifice the Professor. Name Doomsday. Take Doomsday. And then I can surveil with this. My Barrogoyf is not yet safe from Fatal Push. Don't know that that's actually a problem. Flow State is very good here. I guess I maybe could have thought about getting, I don't know the name of this card. Enter the Avatar State to protect Barrogoyf. That doesn't really seem like what the game's going to be about. But maybe I'm wrong. All right. Surveil. Bowmasters? Bowmasters is okay. I will take that. I think I'm doing that now. So play Bowmasters. Target your face. Cabal Therapy. Target you once again. Sacrificing an orc. Opponent can respond. Oh no, they don't. All right, then I guess I will clear Fatal Push. Clear Fatal Push. Okay, nice. Now I could Witherbloom Charm, sacrifice a land. I could also Witherbloom Charm and just take out a Lotus Petal. I think I'm just going to take out a Lotus Petal. Not the typical use of this by any stretch of the imagination. That is a land drop. That is quite good for me. So I now know the exact contents of my opponent's hand. So I know not to cast this Decorum Dissertation right now directly into Force of Negation. I will instead just go ahead and play a Barrogoyf and pass the turn. I have some more discard that I can draw. All right. That is a personal tutor that can put Doomsday on top. My opponent can draw it with Edge of Autumn immediately if they would like. They do not like. All right. I'm just going to fetch, do some hyper-marginal deck thinning here. Get a scrub. Lazotep Quarry can make me learn. I think I'm interested in hitting with Barrogoyf and seeing what I mill. Opponent to 10. I will mill 5 cards. I really wanted to hit another Bowmaster there. Do I have an instant speed removal spell for Oracle? Oracle specifically. I could get Airbender's Reversal and redeploy Bowmaster for 1 more point of damage. It's Airbend's target creature I control. Alright, I'm getting the Professor. I will play it. Oh, shit, I can Seismic Sense. Seismic Sense for another Bowmaster. My opponent should counter this. Oh, yeah, let it go. Let it go. Bowmaster. Bowmaster! Nice. Okay, cool. So now I hold this until after they cast Doomsday. Yes! Oh my god, we found the line. Absolutely incredible. What a league this has been. GG. This deck slaps. All right, opening hand is totally fine here. I could Therapy Blind on one. I think I'm gonna wait and just play a Veteran Explorer off of a basic forest. I always have Lazotep Quarry to sacrifice Veteran Explorer on turn 2. And we can figure out some Cabal Therapy stuff after that. Like, I can just get black land, green land, cast Cabal Therapy, play Veteran Explorer, sack Cabal Therapy, get white, black, play Eyetwitch, and I don't know, win? Question mark? Probably win. All right, here we go. The games this league have been intense thus far. They have been very, very grindy. I have used a lot of clock while playing this particular version of this deck. You get to make a lot of decisions, which is a overall very, very positive thing, right? It just turns out that the decisions are really tough. All right, I am getting Thought Seized. I think the Eyetwitch is my best card. Opponent disagrees and takes Cabal Therapy. So I will go to Punchies and Punchies for 1. So now we play the game of, what is my opponent playing? Probably Cradle Control, so like Natural Order is probably going to be my name. I'm going to think about it for a second. I feel like Natural Order is probably what I am most afraid of right now. I can get to see what lands my opponent selects here before I make a decision. I can play Veteran Explorer off of this land and then sack it immediately to Lazotep Quarry if I want. I'll go white, black here. Oh, that's a lot harder to hit with via Cabal Therapy now. Opponent's playing fucking Jund, Broadside, Fable, Pyrogoyf, Barogoyf. Handle Barogoyf okay with Assassin's Trophy. I could just take a value-oriented permanent like Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. I could just take something generic like Fatal Push. I don't hate that. I don't have anything I care about getting Fatal Pushed. That's a bad name. A Fable? Well. All right. I missed. Needless to say, I missed. What the fuck is this? Baloth Prime. 6 stun counters on it when you sacrifice a land, make a tapped 4/4 beast token. Understood. I see the synergy. Can't Eyetwitch for discard. Opponent's hand has more gas than mine does. Alright. Here's my plan. Play Veteran Explorer, Lazotep Quarry, sacrifice Veteran Explorer for black. Yes, I will search for 2 basic land cards. 1 and 2. I'm going to play out my Eyetwitch. I will be able to Assassin's Trophy something, and my plan is to do Decorum Dissertation. Opponent is a second main phase hipster. Suspending Greater Gargadon. Phyrexian Tower. How big are these 4/4s? Sure. So these don't die to Ruinous Waterbending. I will search for some more basics, thank you. So those are my last 2. It is turn 2, I have all of my basic lands in play. BJG, if you end up watching this later, and you want to donate to get your version of this deck on the channel, you can do so at dealer's choice donation deck list price. I like what you're cooking. Alright, there is Baloth Prime. So I am presumably going to Assassin's Trophy this and see how many lands my opponent wants to sacrifice. So, how you feeling over there? Get some of this stuff out of the way. You can flare this. Or sorry, not flare this. You can Witherbloom Charm this, and that's fine. There's a very weird dance here, because if I have Pernicious Deed... yeah, that's fine. Anyway, if I have Pernicious Deed... Alright, my opponent sacked a land. Alright, are you going all in? They are going all in. Anyway, if I have Pernicious Deed, doing this sort of thing just loses them the game on the spot. So I can go ahead and take this out. Greater Gargadon has 2 counters remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I can do Restoration Seminar, it just doesn't do me a lot of good. This is so close to being what I need it to be. I think I am doing this now. You can have a land. Fails to find a basic land. Okay. All right. I mean, that's mighty interesting. So I will Witherbloom Charm. I think I have to go for the draw 2 here. A new Eyetwitch. So I do Desperate Plea loops. Hello, Mr. Percy. I don't know that Desperate Plea loops are good enough. I think I'm going to Seismic Sense. None of those cards are Barrowgoyf. Bowmasters is 2 bodies. I think I'm spinning my wheels here. Malevolent Rumble finds Barrowgoyf, which I assume is... Oh god, is it only a 4/5? Okay, no, it is a 5/6. I think my opponent's got this one. The Greater Gargadon goes by 1, and my opponent can bring it in by sacrificing one of these and then have a 9/7 with haste. So my opponent sends in for a gajillion D damage, and I can block a little bit of that. And my opponent just sacrifices the one that Barrowgoyf gets in front of. Meaning they have it. GG. My opponent's kind of playing a combo-y Nic Fit thing. That might mean that I want to Thoughtseize them. I'm hoping that I can kind of lean on my learn board here. Bowmasters is very weird. It destroys opposing Veteran Explorers, which may or may not be good. I think my single target removal is less effective against my opponent's particular Greater Gargadon style combo build. These are okay cards. It's not anything special. It may be that I need to mulligan to discard in this matchup. I'm going to hope that leading on a Surveil land and just having a solid subset of cards is fine. Alright, I will make a land drop and pass the turn. I just realized this is only match 4. This is crazy league. I will Surveil. I think no. I don't mind having that card sometimes, but I think given the context of this hand, that's not necessarily what I need right now. Might Malevolent Rumble here. See if I randomly hit a Cabal Therapy. I do. Like Lazotep Quarry. Alright, now I needed to figure out the name of this thing. Baloth Prime. I think I just Cabal Therapy that immediately. Did you have Veil of Summer? I'm super sad if you have Veil of Summer. Yeah. Alright. Opponent does Veteran Explorer. And then passes the turn. So if I need to ramp, I can Bowmaster that and ramp. I also have my own Veteran Explorer now. Alright. Life's weird. I will sack my Veteran Explorer. I will get some basic lands. Green and black. I will do Orcish Bowmasters. Sure. I wanted more land, though. What if I click really hard? I'll ping myself here. And then I'm going to throw down this Professor. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 next turn. So that means not Restoration Seminar. It might just be Germination Practicum, and I try to turn 3 creatures sideways and just kill my opponent. Opponent fetches. I guess I need to not be yielding here. In case my opponent sacrifices the Veteran Explorer at end of turn. And then there's timelines where I can cast Assassin's Trophy. Although I don't know exactly what I would be Assassin's Trophying. Yep. Alright, so there's the Witherbloom Charm. I get some Bowmaster triggers. Now I don't have to ping my face. Now I can ping my Orc Army token. Now I could have gotten Restoration Seminar. So my token gets some damage done to it. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6 on board. This is worth another 6. Oh, that's dirty. Goodbye, Germination Practicum. Unfortunate. That is just a regular cast Flare of Cultivation. That's not actually all that bad for me. I have a board presence here. And I have Lazotep Quarry. I guess that's only bringing back a Veteran Explorer as of right now. Greater Gargadon goes to exile. Where's that zone? Here we go. Greater Gargadon, 10 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands in play. Got it. Marsh Flats is not what I'm looking for, especially with this already gone. I will send in. Opponent to 12. Do I just put a 4/4 into play? Honestly, I probably do. That is not an exciting use of this card, but we might not be in, big, splashy, exciting play times, I might just kill my opponent before they do something stupid with Greater Gargadon and kill me. Yeah, that's fine. They can take my Assassin's Trophy. If I cast it, they just pull another land out of their deck. Or just immediately sacrifice the land of Greater Gargadon. Okay. So I lose Assassin's Trophy. They didn't have much to do last turn. They don't have much to do this turn. Ooh, Witherbloom Charm is quite nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, if you want. Opponent takes all of that and goes to 2. I will Witherbloom Charm to draw 2 cards. I think I just sacrifice a land here rather than a body. I think I will just sacrifice a tapped swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, Cabal Therapy. Target you. See if there's another Veil of Summer there. There's not. Deed? Greediest Pernicious Deed in the world, where if they didn't play it out. It is 3 lands. Coast is clear. Opponent has the ultimate Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards moment here, where their top deck has to be nuts. They can maybe Surveil here. I will pick up a Barrowglyph. I will pick up an Eyetwitch. I have Cabal Therapy in Graveyard. My opponent also has Cabal Therapy. Eyetwitch does some banana things with this much mana. I'm going to take Eyetwitch. All right. So do you have another Surveil land? You are at 1. You do. That is a card to Graveyard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Moment. Cabal Therapy. You may take my Eyetwitch. Nope. Name lifetime pass holder for the memes. Match is tied. Still more magic. On we go. Game 3 of the Nic Fit mirror. So I now know that my opponent is bringing in a bunch of Veil of Summers, so my Thoughtseize stuff is like significantly less good. I could play Erode, Bowmasters in the spots where Thoughtseize are. I still kind of think the Thoughtseizes are good, despite Veil of Summer. Like, my opponent is the combo version of the deck. I think I need to disrupt them, and they're playing Veil of Summer as if they are a combo deck, and their stuff is worth protecting. This is not going to do it with a single land here. I am going to mulligan this. Oh, boy. I am going to risk this, and I'm not happy about it. I think it's better than going to 5. I can produce lands via Veteran Explorer. My opponent can produce lands via Veteran Explorer. I'm going to hope that this works out. Opponent passes the turn. That is not a land. Here's a Veteran Explorer. I imagine my opponent is now surveilling. Yep. They have said no to Greater Gargadon. Should I be exploring? Oh, interesting. Miss. That's quite bad. We'll see how good my opponent's hand is. Torpor Orb is wild. What is that aimed at? Death and Taxes? Grist. Sure. Uh-oh. Send both at Grist. How do you feel about lands, opponent? I would love for you to block. Alright, opponent just takes it. Unfortunate. So, 3 of the cards in my hand are significantly worse due to Torpor Orb. And Grist situation is not ideal. Phyrexian Tower is around now. Sacking an insect token. Or Titania, which does not get its ETB triggers from Torpor Orb. I think I now just pass the turn. I don't know that it makes sense anymore to like keep attacking the Grist and not have blockers for this. Cabal Therapy resolves. Assassin's Trophy is a reasonable name. Opponent can get a 2-for-1 by sacrificing one of these tokens and take 2 Malevolent Rumbles. Although Witherbloom Charm might be significantly better because it can let me sacrifice Veteran Explorer and then potentially just vomit a whole bunch of stuff. I don't think I've seen one yet, but it sure feels like my opponent's deck is a Green Sun deck. Yeah, alright, so they can't easily attack here. I can legitimately discard a Cabal Therapy, and then that lets me get a Veteran Explorer out of play and start using my resources. So this is going to give my opponent a 5/3 Elemental, and then my opponent can Surveil. Is this from play? Yeah, from the battlefield. You can't Surveil a land and then get another one, which would be cool. Therapy to Yard. My opponent has deployed almost all of their resources at this stage of the game. Flashback Cabal Therapy, which is pretty likely to hit Witherbloom Charm, and that's very unfortunate because I just drew another one. Oh, they named Overlord. That's very weird. That's like very much not where I thought this was going. I suppose I should stop yielding through this turn now. In case my opponent attacks, I can start doing some interesting things. Alright, they are not attacking. Opponent does Witherbloom Charm. Presumably just sacking an insect token. Oh no, they're going to go a land for an elemental. Sure. This is the sort of spot that a Pernicious Deed could pretty easily bail me out of. Okay, there's a land. I can't get rid of my opponent's creatures because of this. Not easily, anyway. Ball Therapy, target you, sacrifice a Veteran Explorer. I will search for some lands. Do a white and a green. Might just name something like a Witherbloom Charm here that they might not have cast yet. Flare of Cultivation. Reasonable. Alright. I think that I am now trying to, I don't know, hit a Barrogoyf? I don't know exactly what I'm working towards. I don't have anything crazy like a Toxic Deluge. Send something at Grist. Witherbloom Charm is effectively free, but it does mean that my opponent can start attacking stuff without necessarily giving me lands. So yes, swamp and swamp. So I now have access to all of my basics. These are not actually learning, unless I Torpor Orb this first. This doesn't kill the 5/3 elementals, so I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Like, I can do something like look for Barrogoyf, but that just gets killed by Grist. So I think I'm just dead. Yeah, like there's above 20 power in play. I don't know how I get out of this. Yeah, that is not going to do it. I will concede there. My opponent's got this one. It looks like we've got some like very small holes in deck building here. Which is fine. I don't know if we should be preparing for Greater Gargadon Nic Fit specifically. GG's. Alright, final round here. The old Nic Fit deck is having a pretty good day, even though we've taken some losses. I've been very, very happy with how this deck has been performing. Ooh, it's Eldrazi. Ooh, that's a nice draw. In we go. Maybe name Thought-Knots here with the first one of these, but I don't lose any cool cards that I get. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, sex is great, but have you ever got 2 cards with Cabal Therapy, flashed it back, and gotten 2 more? Yes. A white and a black here. Oh, opponent has a basic wastes. Goodbye, Reality Smashers. Cabal Therapy 4-for-1s my opponent, while allowing me to play a Barrogoyf immediately, I think. That's just gonna self-scale. Yeah, yep. Ball Therapy. What a banger. GG. So now the question becomes, is Thoughtseize better than something like Orcish Bowmasters if my opponent's not going to be drawing cards? Bowmaster lets me kill my Eyetwitches and Veteran Explorers. We can just do that in combat, though. I think Thoughtseize slowing my opponent down and letting me get to, like, this bullshit and my, like, learn tutor board seems pretty good. I think I'm willing to go 4 Bowmasters out for 4 Thoughtseize in. That might be the most, like, brutal Cabal Therapy opening I have seen in a very, very long time. My opening hand here is nothing special. My opponent has kept a 7-card hand. I have a turn 3 Barrogoyf, and on turn 2, I can play an Overlord to grow it. That's, like, fine. I think I will just keep that. But some of my opponent's fastest possible starts can, like, definitely just kill me. Another Overlord is not what I'm looking for. I'm just going to put that to graveyard as a sorcery that goes to graveyard. I think Overlord does something very similar to that card. Alright, let's see if we get an Eldrazi Linebreaker or anything like that coming down here. Glaring a Fleshraker. I don't have a removal spell for... You know what? Never mind. I do. Upkeep. Draw step. Give them a chance to draw the basic wastes. Yeah, draw step sounds good. And I will erode the shit out of this card. Good thing opponent doesn't have Cabal Therapy in their deck, because I got 3 of a kind right now. Alright, they did not draw the wastes. Ooh, I could get smashed here. That is a new Glaring Fleshraker. Looks like it's going to funnel into Eldrazi Linebreaker. I'm going to be taking a good chunk of damage here. I'm hoping that's it. All right, cool. I will take 6. I then get to play out a Barrowgoyf. I will be at 11. This brings us up to a 4-5. I probably just get a Bayou here. Wasteland is a very real Magic the Gathering card right now. I think my opponent is currently quite favored in this game. Ooh, yeah. I am at 9 when those triggers resolve. My opponent still has 3 cards in hand, and Eldrazi Linebreaker is quite strong right now. This is a matchup where, like, Ruinous Waterbending could potentially do some gross things in clearing out situations like this one. I think I am just about to eat a lethal Kozilek's Command. That just gets to exile my Barrowgoyf, make a couple of spawns, and I presume that I die without actually counting. Yeah, that's a Kozilek's Command. This is going to be a lot of damage from Glaring Fleshrakers. Oh, opponent didn't go for spawns. They went for card draw. I don't think it matters. It's like clearly lethal either way with Eldrazi Linebreaker. So I will concede there. They've got it. GG. And I think I am still largely under the assumption that my Thoughtseizes to help get me out of the early game is a good idea. And that if we make it past the first couple of turns, the whole, like, learn Overlord, Barrowgoyf stuff will be gross. I'm not willing to keep that. This is fine. The Veteran Explorer might just be the weakest card in the hand here, having mulliganed already. My opponent has mulliganed as well. All right. I'm going to lead on Swamp so I don't get immediately wastelanded if that's a thing that's going on over there. Is that Abundant Countryside? It is. So my opponent gets either Glaring Fleshraker or Eldrazi Linebreaker. If I take Eldrazi Linebreaker, it hits me once and then I Assassin's Trophy it. The same is probably true of Glaring Fleshraker. I think I take Eldrazi Linebreaker since the haste is relevant. Like, it getting to get in immediately and smack me might be a couple of points that matter in the late game. Alright, Linebreaker is gone. So I imagine that my opponent goes Petal Glaring Fleshraker. And then at the cost of giving my opponent an extra land, I get to just deal with Glaring Fleshraker outright. I think we are doing the draw step, Assassin's Trophy this thing again. I don't think I'm going for, like, a risky line like Assassin's Trophy, the Temple. Let's take this out. Opponent could cast this for X equals 0 to make a spawn here. I think I am willing to do that to let them not get the untapped land for the turn. Yeah, I think they are going to do it. Yes, they do value this spawn highly. So I will take 1. That's fine. If I did this on my own turn, they would have more mana to funnel into that. So they are just drawing 1 random card and getting an Eldrazi spawn there. That is fine by me. Okay, cool. This is a 5-6 Barrowgoyf already. Opponent could have some things like Reality Smasher in hand that they could not have cast on the previous turn. Abundant Countryside comes down. The Overlord is a little weird right now. I don't super want to do it as a 2-mana play because I'm close to 5 mana to hardcast it. But my opponent is pretty likely to block with a spawn and then sacrifice it so I don't gain any life or deal damage with Barrowgoyf for the purpose of getting in there. Oh, looks like my Barrowgoyf is just going to get bounced. That gives me something very good to just do with my mana on my turn. Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, there's my next land as well. So Barrowgoyf can come down. Opponent can potentially bounce this again and attack me for 2. Eye of Ugin. That could prove a problem if this game goes on for quite some time. I have cards like Assassin's Trophy that can destroy it. It is a big play. Probably means that I'm losing Barrowgoyf to Kozilek's Command. It does. X equals 8. The good news here is that my opponent isn't making spawns this turn, so they are not getting to deploy anything immediately. So then I will take some damage here. Opponent left 3 cards on top, so they've got access to some good stuff. I get an Overlord, just finding me a Professor. That's maybe not my ideal. My graveyard is not very stocked right now as well for things like loops with Desperate Plea. Hopefully my Overlord makes it around the table. My opponent just keeps playing copies of Kozilek's Command. It's pretty annoying. I'm playing Nic Fit. That's the wrong name. You name like Lazotep Quarry or Phyrexian Tower there for sure. Reality Smasher is fine. Second Reality Smasher is less fine. I assume that I just need to trade here. I just don't think I can take 10 and go to 5. Malevolent Rumble is interesting. I think I will start there. 1 and 2. Veteran Explorer is not what I am looking for off of that card. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. So play Veteran Explorer. Ball Therapy. Target you. Sack Veteran Explorer. This is just a ramp card. 1 and 2. Name Sticker Goblin for the nostalgia. Play the Professor. I will learn. Get Desperate Plea. Cast Desperate Plea, both modes. I will get Veteran Explorer back, target Reality Smasher, like so. I sacrifice the Professor. I discard Verdant Catacombs to the Reality Smasher protection trigger, and I end with a Veteran Explorer in play that can chump block and get me some more land. I also maybe can get more than 2 life out of it. I think I'm just going to chump block and just legitimately thin the land from the deck, because it's 2 lands, and that makes the cards like Overlord and such. Oh, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 mana. Oh, it is time. No, I don't have bonus white. Fuck. It's not time for the one I want then. That's unfortunate. I wanted a Restoration Seminar. Seismic Sense is pretty good. I could also just take Germination Practicum. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that. It makes it so that I don't care about this little chip damage anymore. I don't know that it was correct to get a white dual land earlier. I don't remember if I drew those naturally or fetched those. It's looking like I drew them. Also, I think I have milled over some scrub lands. And I'm just going to try to turtle up here a little bit. Dismember? Dismember. Yeah, sure. Eldrazi Spawn Token is holding the ground versus Wastegate Battle Mage, though. And now I just have to top deck 5% better than my opponent. Reality Smasher's pretty good. I will take that hit. I go to 5. I need a live draw. Nice. That'll do. So, yes, I will cast this card. For 5. I now get the Professor. I can't remove Reality Smasher. I can Seismic Sense and go real deep for a Goyf. I think I'm into that. He's looking at like 10 cards or some shit. Yeah, there's a Goyf. I think the lifelink of Goyf is better than Overlord getting me another card back. So bam, bam, and bam. In play. I'm not going to try to get greedy with an attack or anything here. Hot damn, Nic Fit. We did it, baby. Opponent gave us the wow on the way out. I know. It is a thing of beauty, isn't it? This Nic Fit deck. That was an incredible league, folks. GG's. One of my favorites of the year for sure. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Something snazzy, you were cooking with your idea of Professor of Symbology. Well done. This was incredibly strong. I think if I played this again, I would make a few changes to the sideboard. I think I would get rid of both of these cards, these 2 white lessons. I think I would play another copy of Origin of Metal Bending. It may be that Restoration Seminar is hard on the mana. Like, I had a ton of lands in play, and I couldn't cast it at the end of that game. Like, I absolutely wanted to cast it, but I couldn't. Maybe I have to muck with the mana a little bit to make it work. I could also see playing another Seismic Sense over Shared Roots. In these games that go long, like that one just did, I dug, I don't know, I didn't count, but it was like somewhere between 8 and 10 lands in play, just looking for the Barrogoyf that I needed to stabilize the board. It may just be that Germination Practicum and Decorum Dissertation are enough, but I can see Restoration Seminar just being absolutely damning and like very, very hard to beat. Maybe this was just like not the perfect set of matches for the 2 lessons that I pulled off to the left there to shine. But like there were definitely times where I thought about Enter the Avatar State. But maybe you don't care about protecting your stuff because you just let it die and then bring it back with Desperate Plea or Barrogoyf or whatever. I could see wanting a copy of Endurance or two in the deck. I could see wanting a Pernicious Deed. But this was really good, and I don't think we are done exploring this idea yet. This is the sort of Magic that I want to play every day forever. A ton of intricate decisions where your choices matter a lot. And I don't think we paired against either Tamiyo or Oops today, so it was like a very fascinating set of matches. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day there. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I did playing it. Have a great rest of the day, and remember, you want to fund nonsense like this, the donation queue is always open. Maybe one of you crazies out there will donate, make me put birthing ritual into this, which is something that I have been kind of passively thinking about. All right. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya.